people who know me well know that I've been an outspoken atheist for pretty much the entirety of my adult life, and so it's with a heavy heart and an equally heavy dose of humility that I tell you today that I was wrong. Events over the last few years, and particularly in 2020, have made me realise that something momentous is happening. I simply can't ignore the signs any longer. So many things have happened. Brexit in the UK, Iran, Iraq, Israel, women being allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia, an increase in wars, famine and immigration from countries whose populations are mainly made up of black and brown people, the Antichrist in the White House. We even have a hoax plague created in a lab by the Chinese to kill Americans and Brits with their own stupidity. It all points to one thing: the end times, when all true believers will float up to the sky, leaving the apostates, the Philistines and the heathens behind. Just one question though: will we need a mask when the air gets thin up there? And don't at me, I'm genuinely interested as I'm a little foggy on the details. But how could I not see the light, even through the fog? I've always wanted to fly ever since I saw the Vulture in the Spider-Man comics. Okay, he was a bad guy, but why should the bad guys have all the fun, just like they have all the decent music? But look, I'm getting off topic. Of all the pointers to the end times, there's one that stands out above all else: the Atari VCS. I know it might sound crazy next to everything else I've said, but stick with me and I'll explain. The Atari VCS has been promised for decades now. I myself have grown old waiting for it. Do you not see the parallels? It's just like Christ. Christ's flock have been waiting around for thousands of years, growing old and dying without him returning. And now the Atari VCS is doing exactly the same thing. It's a sign. But it doesn't end there. I was reminded today that the VCS is due to arrive before the end of this year, with orders shipping out on the 24th of December. The 24th of December. Christmas Eve. The day before the verified birth of Christ. The actual day of his birth. Written down solidly in the history books. It can't be a coincidence. And that's how I know without a shadow of a doubt that we finally entered the end times. And if the Atari VCS arrives on your doorstep on or before December the 25th this year, well, you better start praying. Because frankly, you don't want to be left on the ground staring up at your neighbour's ass as they rise into the sky while struggling to put on a respirator because they've never used a mask before. Seriously, you need to take note. The Atari VCS is a sign. The end times are coming, and it will soon be all over.